Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be like a different kind of video, something that I feel like a lot of people may need. It's going to be like a informational video about something that I feel like is very important in today's time with everything that's going on the news, with everything, with the election, with the coronavirus, with just the news and any information that is given out to people in general. I want to talk about the importance of finding credible sources for your information before you hop out and spread disinformation to people that can and then turn around and easily spread unnecessary chaos amongst people. So this is really what I wanted to talk about today. So when I was in college, I graduated college last year in October. I got a bachelor's degree in healthcare administration and a minor in child development. Now, during my time of going to school, we had to write several papers. I'm telling you, I wrote hundreds of papers during my 4 years of attending college. And one of the most important things that they were always hitting us with was making sure that you had credible sources. It was like very important to do that, because if you don't have credible sources in your paper and you're just you need to make sure that what you're writing is fact. When you're telling people important information, when it has to do with health needs, politics, or anything that has to do on the news, it needs to be credible information. When you go and spread information about certain topics, you need to make sure that you know what you're talking about, because disinformation is dangerous. It's dangerous. So I did me some little notes right here, guys. So this is my first time doing a video like this. I have like some other ideas for videos that I want to do, like giving tips for certain things. Now look, I don't know everything and I don't claim to know everything, but I know that with just a little bit of effort, you can find out what you need to know and whether it's true or whether it's false. So, what is a credible source? A credible source can be defined as a source that a reader can trust. Okay, a credible source can be defined as a source that can be trusted. Okay, there are a number of ways that you can be sure that a source is credible, okay? You can check the source's credentials and their affiliations. 2, make sure the source is cited by an author, not Mimo, not Papa, not Uncle and Cousin and them said this and that. Make sure the source is cited by an author. Make sure it's an up-to-date source. Check reviews and make sure the source is reputable. If you know that it's a source that mainly people are just going there to vent their shared emotions and feelings on a subject and leaving out all the facts and statistics and all that, that's a biased source. We want facts here. So moving on. What else to look for? So you need to make sure your articles are using people who are respected authors. You want to get your information from government or educational institutions. You don't want to just get them from somebody that said they heard or they saw a post or they saw a meme or whatever. Memes are not a credible source. Blogs are not a credible source. Okay? You need to check academic databases. And you can also utilize Google Scholar. Okay. Next, we're going to move on. You can identify if a source is not credible if they have other motives, such as trying to persuade you. So, like the situation that's going on with the election. Now, look, I'm not a person that likes to like get all political, religion, or certain subjects and stuff. I try to stay out of with people. But when it comes to the facts are just the facts, that's what they are. So during this election, there's been hearsay and word and everything right out the horse's mouth, the president, that there's been voter fraud, and a lot of people believe it simply because it came out of his mouth. Okay? We shouldn't do that. We should go and look up this information that is easily available for us to look out and find out ourselves and find out the facts before we just run along with the story that has a narrative that whoever you are, that you agree with. You know, sometimes you're not going to agree with everything that happens. Sometimes, you know, you're wrong. Sometimes people know that they're following behind somebody who's spewing wrong information, but because it's what they want to hear and what they want to believe, they spread it. And it's wrong. So, things to look for when a source is not credible. When you go to a website and they got poor grammar, there's no author, and most importantly, there are no associated credible institution or organizations saying that they agree with this information. It's just somebody with nobody backing them, just somebody that just got up there and they said their opinion and you took it. You took it for fact and you ran with it. Okay. Another thing that you want to make sure that is very important to do, find you some sources that are unbiased. Unbiased means fair. I know that we don't understand that sometimes in this country, in this life here. We don't understand what fair is, but I really feel like people need to start getting used to what fair is. Okay, biased. Bias can be defined as prejudice in favor of or against one thing, person, or group compared with the other. So I'm going to give you an example. This is bias. We're going through a pandemic right now. And our president said, I'm not going to help those Democrat states. What? We're all Americans and human beings, and whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, you can get sick. Things can happen to you. Your political standing does not protect you. It does not make you better than anybody else. You can be Republican, you can be Democrat, but that does not mean that gives anybody the right to treat either one differently. We are all human beings. That's being biased towards one way, and because you don't like the other, you don't like the Democrats, so you just don't want to do anything for them, but you forgetting the fact that these are human beings. See, no. So you shouldn't be biased when you're going to search for facts, because it's really easy. Just like it's easy for me, it's easy for you to tell somebody what they want to hear instead of telling them the truth, right? Right. Sorry, guys, that was my kids calling me. But anyway, it's easier to tell somebody a lie than to tell them the truth. It's easier to say something that somebody wants to hear, that sounds good to them, that's something that follows along with their agenda, than telling them the truth. So, don't pick biased sources that is just saying everything that you want to hear until you go back and thoroughly check them before you go and spread false information. Okay, it is important to understand what a fact is. A fact is something that can be proven. A fact is something that can be proven. Okay. A fallacy is defined as a mistaken belief, especially one that's based on an unsound argument. So a fallacy would be what's going on right now with them saying voter fraud on a large scale. They're saying there's a large scale of voter fraud. It's just, it's here, it's there, it's a lot of it. That's a mistaken belief with an unsound argument, because they've said over and over and over that there's no proof of the mass scale voter fraud that they are saying that there is. Now, I'm just using that for example because I may seem like kind of like really into this video because I feel like it is dangerous to not have people understand the difference between fact and fiction. You need to understand how to go and find a credible source. Spreading disinformation is dangerous. So let me go ahead and wrap this up, guys. So here's some last minute tips to help you if you're really concerned about you're so concerned about spreading. You're so concerned about fake news that you're not even making sure that you're not the one spreading it. I see it all the time. They're so concerned, and when I say they, that means anybody who believes in news that has no credible anything backing it up. That's what I mean by they. You so concerned about the fake news that you're spreading it yourself. So, in closing, like I was saying, here's a few little tips to make sure that you're not spreading disinformation and that you know how to identify a credible source. Sources that should be avoided are anything that's like out of date, posts that's from social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, blogs, and research articles with no citations in them at all. When writing certain articles about like important things, dealing with the coronavirus, dealing with politics, important stuff that you need to know in the news about what's going on today, it'd be good if you made sure that source had citations throughout of where you can go back and find proof and statistics of what they are saying so you can know this information is true before you jump up and tell me, Ma and Papa, that this is true, or did you see this, or did you hear that? Okay? And don't use any websites. Most websites that have like .com, org or net or whatever, you most likely want to use one that's like a government or educational institution would be the best. So that's all that I wanted to say for this video, guys. Like I said, I just feel like it's a very important subject right now because there's a lot of confusion going on in America right now. Confusion is not good. It's dangerous, especially when it's confusion over the fact if something is real, if it's fact or if it's fiction, when you can easily figure out if something is credible enough by using these tips that I gave you to know that you are not spreading disinformation, but factual information. So that's all for this video, guys. I know this is a lot different than what I usually do. I usually do a makeup look, which I'm probably going to do after this video. But I thought it was really important that people understand the importance of understanding and being able to identify a credible source before you open your mouth and you spread dangerous and sometimes can be even deadly disinformation. All right, guys, I'm out.